Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is December 15th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop, and you can see British Columbia, Washington, Oregon. Check out the next storm system off the coast of California here. It's going to eventually fill and move up towards the Pacific Northwest and bring us our next round of precipitation. Then we're going to turn our eyes across the Pacific Ocean as a strong jet stream will be moving across and bringing stormier weather here to some of the west coast of North America. We'll check that out in the extended forecast as we go through the video here today. Taking a look at the composite reflectivity, this is what the Doppler radar may look like as we go through the day today. You can see some of that moderate, maybe light precipitation across British Columbia. It's going to clip in portions of Washington. That moves up and out of the area as we go through the day today and tonight. And then if you watch off to the bottom left here, as we go on into Sunday morning, you can see some of the precipitation from the next storm start to pivot up across Oregon as we go through Sunday afternoon, shown there. More on that system here in a bit. If we can look across the Cascades here, you can see some of the east component, these gusty winds going on as we go through this morning all the way out across the coastline. A glorious sunrise out there this morning. Got the drone up there and got some interesting sunrise photos with Mount Rainier in the background. But we put this into motion. You can see some of the gusty winds occurring here as we go through the day today. Into the afternoon, it starts to wane a bit here, but it's still fairly gusty through the Stampede Gap and some of the gorge. Not insanely so, but you'll notice that if you're out and about in some of the mountain gap areas. And then as the storm system starts to come up from the south here, the gradient kind of lines up again to keep some of these winds going here across the Cascades. And as you can see, as we go on into the day Sunday, again, some gusty winds across the gorge, Stampede Gap, and typical east wind windy areas here across some of the Cascades of Washington all the way out towards the coastline here. This would end Sunday afternoon. So heads up for that. And then the system will finally be approaching and bringing its precipitation with it. If we look at last night's control run here on the European model, we're looking at Alaska here, as Washington, Oregon. We're looking at 6-hour precipitation totals. If we look at this map, once you hit that yellow, that's about 6 hours and then 1 inch of precipitation during that 6 hours. So let's watch what that system does. You can see it spinning off the coastline there, and it starts to bring the precipitation up here. Monday morning shown there. There's Monday late morning. There's Monday afternoon. So you can kind of see when that rain starts here across western Oregon, western Washington, another round for western BC as well. And this system pivots across the area. It's kind of trending a little bit wetter here as well. We'll look at some of the amounts we can expect across the region there as another storm dives towards California, and then we maybe get clipped with this next system here before the Gulf of Alaska really starts to get ramped up here as we get towards the Christmas time frame. Taking a look at Hoquiam on the Washington coast, you can see about 7/10 of an inch there with this next system as we go on in through the day Tuesday. These are 24-hour running totals, and you can see some of the ensembles do have up over an inch shown there. This is Seattle Tacoma on the GFS. Check it out, 9/10 of an inch here, not bad. And 3 of the ensembles have an inch plus in the 24-hour period. Then you can see that active weather potentially returning as we go towards the end of December. This is the European, which is a shorter time frame here. This only goes out to about Wednesday night, and you can see about 8/10 of an inch here in a 24-hour period. So you can see another rainy system moving in for much of the area here as we go on through the early portion of next week. So Spokane, maybe a couple of tenths of an inch here coming up. Boise, something similar here. You can see some of the ensembles don't have anything, but there are some wetter solutions in there as well. So we'll watch that a little bit there as we go. You can kind of see the mean is just towards 2/10 of an inch for Boise. This is Bend off in eastern Oregon as well. Something similar here as well, kind of hit and miss showing up in the ensembles, but probably just over 1/10 of an inch in for the ensemble mean. Taking a look at the European, the 10-day precipitation anomalies, and this is right before things would get active again. So I'm just kind of showing you this next system. Even though it's going to be coming through here, we're still going to be running a deficit here for the next 10 days, at least according to the European model. I mean, look at this across some of the Cascades and the coastal areas, but then we might get active after that. So that's what we'll be watching for. This is the GFS over the next 16. This is when the storm track starts to get pointed back up at us a little bit here, but you can see some big, the Olympic Mountains and Vancouver Island, some of western BC, southwest Oregon, above average, and some of the Cascades of Washington below average. We'll see how this changes there over time, over the next few days or the week or so. Now, if you look at the GFS 06Z, this is total snow. How much are we going to get with this next system? A little bit coming with the one that moves through the area as we go through the day today for British Columbia. Not much for Washington or Oregon, but then our system starts moving up from the south there, and you can see it's not much. Maybe the central and northern Cascades getting a little bit, just a skiff for some of the Oregon Cascades. Better amounts across British Columbia, eastern British Columbia, some of the Rocky Mountains there, and you have got to go way way off into the future here a little bit before things start to get active again as far as building that snowpack back up across the Cascades as we go into the after the Christmas period here. But it does show some interesting systems rolling through at that period, that time frame here. So that's something we'll be watching here for the next few days as well. Wish we didn't have to wait that long to bring that back in here, and maybe something will change. But yeah, at least the signal is out there. Taking a look at the European yesterday afternoons, this is total snow 10-to-1 ratio. So here goes our initial system there, and you can see it's just not showing that much. I'm scrolling back and forth here. This would be about Monday night, just a couple inches for a lot of the Washington Cascades. It does show a bit more for the Oregon Cascades, but still not much. Better amounts across western BC, as you can see, the higher terrain. And then we scroll out in the post-Christmas period here, and you can see some of that snow trying to build up as what the GFS was showing. So at least we do have the model agreement for that more active weather rolling in here through the later portion of the period. Checking out Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, the fantasy windstorm hunt here. It's been waffling back and forth here. Yesterday mornings was pretty good. Had some big windstorms. It still has a few big ones in here, but it's kind of been going back and forth, and it backed off again yesterday afternoon. We'll see what today brings. This is looking at the GFS. This is last night's run. There's Washington, Oregon, British Columbia, and Alaska. We're looking at mean sea level pressure here, and you can kind of see where the high pressure is versus the low pressure out here across the Pacific Ocean, and that's that storm system that's going to be riding up the coastline and bringing us our next round of precipitation. You can see it move up there. Next storm takes aim at California, and we get a bit of a break here, and then we bring a system on in through maybe the end of next week here. Not an exceptionally strong one, but then look as we go off into the future, another system here swinging through maybe the 22nd or 23rd, and then we really get the storm train cranking here towards some areas of the west coast of North America. You can see some of these strong low pressure systems swinging through the Pacific Northwest, dodging bullets here as we go on into the end of December. But again, plenty of time to worry about that. Right now, those solutions are still purely fantasy at this point. Now, looking across Pacific Ocean here, this is something we've been looking at here over the last few days. You can see Japan to the left. There's Alaska. There's the Hawaiian Islands. We're looking at about 39,000 feet up in the atmosphere. We got British Columbia and Washington and Oregon here. So here goes our next system here that will move up and over the Pacific Northwest. Then we get the storm down into California here, and then you can really see that jet stream get cranking here as we go on in through this upcoming week towards the weekend. Look at that jet extension across the Pacific Ocean. Just an amazing jet stream. Can you imagine if you're flying from Japan to San Francisco or something? You'd really be gaining some serious time. And then we go off into the future here after Christmas, and you can really see the Gulf of Alaska low just cranking, potential strong storms impacting some place here on the west coast of North America. So yeah, that's what we'll be watching on to the extended forecast here. But high confidence in the development of this jet extension across the Pacific Ocean here, which means stormy weather for someone here along the west coast. Here's the 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook. Washington, Oregon here above average. 8 to 14 days, something similar there as well. Here's the precipitation. So again, up until about Christmas Eve, below average expected across a lot of the Pacific Northwest. But then as you go to 8 to 14, you can kind of see them introducing it a little bit back into the region here. So we'll see how that goes. We got plenty of time to watch that. We'll break it down day by day. Risk heavy precipitation. They left it down here just for California and some of Arizona here. But look at, they did reintroduce the risk of high winds up towards the Washington, Oregon coast. Even introduce a moderate here, kind of a rare moderate there for Northern California, Southwest Oregon. So again, we'll watch those systems as they come. And the risk of heavy snow. This may eventually start to include Washington as we go as well, as it continues. If it continues to show in the GFS and the European, that snowfall for the Cascades after Christmas, it'll no doubt start to show up in that graphic as well. This is the drought monitor. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. The Pacific Northwest has been improving, and it will continue to do so as long as we get these systems back in here. But as you saw over the next 10 days, we're going to be running kind of a deficit here again. But we have been improving here, and if we take a look at the last year, though, you can see the big deficit across the Oregon, Washington Cascades, across the Olympic Mountains, some of the coastal range of Washington, Oregon as well. And again, this is December 14th or December 13th here. And I believe that's, we had another day there, clicked on it when I updated that. But you can see that that deficit we are running. That's why we still have those drought conditions out there. And this is the last 6 months. You can kind of see the reflection of that as well, again, across the Cascades and the coastal ranges there. Even over the last month, some areas areas of Skagit and Whatcom County have been below average here, but some of the Cascades of Washington have definitely been improving, same with the Cascades of Oregon. So that's why we're getting some drought improvement here. And the avalanche danger here, not too bad. We'll revisit this once we start getting heavy snow again in some of the Cascade areas. This is a great site here, though, the Northwest Avalanche Center. Check it out. You can click on these individual locations as well and get more information if you're going to go out in the backcountry there. But anyway, yeah, so this is our next storm system we wait for. It's going to be moving up over the areas we go through next week, and we'll continue to watch this day by day and see how the precipitation amounts trend or not here. I mean, we had some pretty good storms rolling through here, so when you see, 8, 9/10 of an inch, nobody really raises an eyebrow, but it's still a pretty rainy day that's going to come across a lot of the Pacific Northwest upcoming. And then we'll see how long that break lasts in the wake of that storm here and see just how long it takes to really get the Gulf of Alaska low cranking in our extended forecast that we're going to break down daily. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Also, click on that link down below if you want to order one of those weather stations here. You can still get it before Christmas. Makes a great gift, and I'll leave that in the link down below. So anyway, yeah, we'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.